An anonymous gifter sending out a sub to Zero T666 and to Silvery. Thanks very much. That's amazing. Really appreciate that. Brings us up to 84 subs so far for September. Getting closer to 100. We haven't been over 100 in quite a while. But if you did receive that gift sub, I mean, I think both of you are already part of the Discord. But for folks that are out there wondering, if you sub on Twitch, either with a tier 1 or a Prime Gaming sub, then you get access to the Discord. You can just connect your Discord and your Twitch accounts and join that way. You can also check out patreon.com/JoelDuggan and you can get access to the Discord that way as well. Okay, so mob farm, shulker farm, sugarcane farm, probably concrete maker would be the first thing to try. Probably a good call. Need have some wood in here at all? Probably not. Oh, we can also try this. Whatchamacallit? The shulker box thing. The data pack. Let's go over this way. So this is tedious, but it is possible. And I don't know, I think it had to be 2 blocks deep, if I remember correctly. Actually, I don't think that the walls have to be. Or it's just the bottom. No proof of concept. If this works, then this is probably going to be the best way to do it, because I really can't see another way of getting a shulker box here without bringing it from the end islands through the nether portal and then having to travel however many thousands of blocks of the nether. That just doesn't seem like a good use of time. I mean, for the sake of it being super ugly, we could just use these. And I don't think I have any ladders around. There's so much separated into different shulker boxes now, it's hard to remember where I keep everything. Those are filter sticks for redstone farms. I can turn bamboo into sticks, can't I? Thought I could. That's enough. That's all I need. This would be a fast way to get some shulker boxes that we might need while we're building the shulker box farm. While we're building things up. I think one of the issues that I have in this space is that it's difficult to try to come up with where I want to put the farms. I know what farms I need, but it's difficult to kind of come up with where I want to put them. Why is that 8 wide? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Huh, I thought I made that 5 wide. All right, well, good to know. So unfortunately, this is a food-heavy endeavor, and it often involves a lot of ender pearls. So the Voodoo Beard data pack, if this is going to work, involves throwing ender pearls back and forth until you summon a endermite. And in the data pack, what happens is the endermite burrows into the purpur and turns into a shulker. We are left with the RNG of whether or not... Oh, that did not take nearly as long as I thought. Sometimes it takes a really long time. Go up here. Now we wait. The YOLO boy. Hello, welcome in. How'd you find the chat? How'd you find the stream? Appreciate you saying hi. How many shulkers would I need for the farm? I think you only need 2. If I was to start the farm. Oh, I should probably try to find... I have a name tag somewhere. Because that's the other thing. Once we exit out the area, the shulker box would despawn. Found it from the spawn chunks. Amazing. Thanks so much for listening to the show. Oh, I left my coffee in the other room. Do I have... I do. Oh, shulkers don't despawn? Really? Would it go faster if the mic can't see me? I don't know. I don't think so. I thought it was just a timer. Do I have a name tag? I'm paranoid, so we're gonna do a name tag anyway. Did not think this setup through very well. What are we calling the shulker box? Well, it works. Now he's named. They look really cool with the shader pack. Right on. Well, that's easy. Maybe too easy, but like the content or the time thing for bringing a shulker back from can you still fire at me from over there? Really? It's wild. Or maybe it was tracking me that whole time. We may have to put a roof on that. That was a stray bullet? Okay. I've got a funny feeling I'm just never going to want to put this one away, so I might as well leave this in a permanent spot. So basically, we added this data pack years ago for the people on the server that did not like the end and found it very challenging, but they wanted access to shulker boxes. So if you want a lot of shulker boxes, it's a really time-consuming, really kind of not fun way to do it, but you can get like a couple shulker boxes doing it that way. Shulker farms only need a single shulker. Well, that's good to know. Will it teleport? I remember not killing one in Alistair's shulker pool, and it moved and had to chase it around Avalon. Yeah, it might teleport. I'm not sure what would be the best way to keep it from teleporting. Not going near it should be enough. A minecart? That would be a good idea too. Thought I had a minecart. I guess I don't. I had them in there. Oh no, those are, most of those are hopper minecarts. I'm gonna need some powered rails too. Don't know if this will get them or not. Nope. Guess I have to go down. Now we can see me. Awesome. It was better when you couldn't see me. Tricky. Where'd the other purple blocks go? Got him. Oh no. So he took some damage. So now I gotta fix him. Oh man, I'm glad that he didn't die. That would have been a real pain. So we've got him in there. He's not going to despawn. He's named, and he's in a minecart. So should be fine. I'll double check he's... Yeah, still named. So he's not going anywhere. That's good. I forgot about him potentially being sucked into the side of a block. I left my coffee in the other room. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so I guess we could just think about where we would want to put a shulker farm. I mean, it would make sense to put it south, just like so I don't have to move that shulker too far. And it would also make sense to maybe put it... You have to have it a certain amount of space above the ground too. I think I have to do a little bit more research. I've watched the video once, but I need to like refresh my memory. So at least we know what's happening there. I need to also think about where we're going to put the mob farm. And for anybody else that's new here today that has not seen the Lush Cave, then you'll get to see this as well. It is just northwest here. This is the giant Lush Cave that we've got all lit up. And over on that side, I think, is where we're going to put... So it gets really deep down there, and it also gets very deep right here. And I think over this space, right here in front of me, is where we're going to put the mob farm. So that if we're over here, which is like right underneath the big central area. A little bit higher. This feels very dark. No, that's good. So I'm not going to put the mob farm out there. I think we're going to put it in this area right here. And then we could have it drop the mobs to their death without having a real like killing mechanism. We could just drop them as far as we want. Because we're at 5. So that's like -50, I think. So we're already pretty low in the world. We just have to make sure that when we build it, we can't build the platforms too low because the platforms have to be in the Lush Cave, and the Lush Cave boundary is like it stops at a certain point. If I recall, you need an air gap of at least 9 blocks without full open signs. Yeah, to build the shulker box farm on. Yeah. So in this space, we've got some stalagmites and stalactites to get rid of too. I guess this is sort of the edge here. Yeah, so I'd probably want to put it somewhere around the middle here. Although that space might not be big enough. Look at it. I don't know if I want it that close to the edge. Whose video? That's a really good question. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Whose shulker box farm video did I watch? I watched the first one that came up that had a decent explanation, and that was easy to watch. Although they switched to, instead of audio instructions, they switched to like putting instructions up on screen. It was this one. I'll put the link in chat. This is from the Archivists on YouTube. Spelt as you'd think. The simplest shulker farm version 3, and it's got 770,000 views, and I believe it was from within the last couple months. Video is from, no, it's from a year ago. Yeah. We could start to think about the design for that. So one of the things I was thinking of, look, if I go out here, so much easier to get in and out of here now. That's standard size for shulker farm. Shulker farm. Words are hard. Cool. That's good to know. Do I need to have as many tiers? Like, does it need to have like 4 tiers, or could it just be like 2? Or do they have to like get them far enough away from the original shulker? Like, that's the idea, that they teleport themselves up out of range. All right. Grab some blocks. It's going to get covered by mycelium. Let's just use stone for an example. Grab my redstone. I also haven't made water again. So we'll do that too. Well, that's cool. I didn't know this was here. Neat. Now, seeing as I teleported away, you still here? You are. Good. Let's just put this on the ground, I guess. So the idea behind the mob farm is going to be probably in 4 corners we'll have dispensers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. More blocks required. So rather than having the dispensers in the middle, I thought it would be cool to have the dispensers on the edges. And then when you put the water out. Oh, whoops. We'll put glass on the sides. So the floor would look like that, but then we have to have enough space in between, which I think it's either 2 or 3. I would probably make it 3 just to kind of keep it as an odd number. But then I don't know if that would be enough space on the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel like that's big enough that a spider would fall through. So then it's not square, it's going to be a little bit longer that way. Unless we make this smaller, but I don't think a spider could fit through there. I think their hitbox is only 1.4. That feels definitely more spider size. I mean, this is if I want to do the flushing farm. If I just eliminate spiders in general, because I could also make another mob farm and have it be a narrow space and have it only have spiders. So we could do it that way too. I don't necessarily need the spider farm either. Width is 1.4. So they appear much larger than 1.4 in the world. So the other thing I could do is have platforms like this and just have a 2 wide gap with no redstone, and then just put trapdoors along the inside, and then the mobs will just jump, like they'll just walk right off. And then what you can do is that you can put carpet on the middle block, and then no spiders spawn at all. You don't have to worry about spiders. And then it's just going to be creepers, skeletons, and zombies, and they'll just walk off. Yeah, there's a spider spawner in the lush cave. Like if I really wanted spiders, I could just use I could AFK at the farm. If you have a mob farm, there's probably no need for a separate spider farm. But that's what I mean. If I have a mob farm and I prevent spiders from spawning in the mob farm, I could make a separate mob farm for spiders. Or snow layers. Yeah, I could do snow layers too. One block diagonal gap. That's more than a 1 block diagonal gap though, isn't it? That's a 2 block diagonal. A dark room is typically more efficient than a mob spawner block. Yeah, and because I don't want to have to AFK at the mob farm, right? That's the idea. So I don't know. I guess the middle, I'd have to separate this out even farther if I wanted to be square. So this would have to be 1 more block over. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would mean the center area would end up being a 5 by 5. And this would just be empty space. This would just be airdrop. But then I'd have to figure out how to get them into the middle. Trapdoor approach also has the downside that mobs will only walk around during their first 30 seconds or so, if they decide to walk around at all. It almost seems larger than making the diamond shape and surrounding it with square building. So the problem is that it's usually the big catchment at the bottom. The other thing is, like, I don't have to make it a diamond shape. If I wanted to do it this way, I'm gonna be putting in 4 dispensers. I could also just have. I mean, it's endgame. I've got kind of unlimited resources. Like, I could just make a square that just pushes everything off in one direction, right? Like, I could make it whatever shape I want. The only limit is the 8, right? Right, like I could have it be just a square platform, right, and only have it push off in one direction. I just like the idea visually of having the mobs come down through the center of it, because it's hard to explain. But what I wanted to do for the bottom of it, where they're being killed, is have some sort of cool contraption come out of the ground. So, like, I don't know how to explain this. If that's the mob farm right there, so let's pretend at scale that's our mob farm, and our mobs are being dropped out of the middle of that block. I thought it would be cool to have something on the ground like that in the middle with some cool, like, I don't know how to explain this, but like have some cool things reaching out of the ground towards some central point. You know, some cool sci-fi looking thing here where the mobs are being shot down into and then they die. Right? Imagine that, but like huge. It's in the Lush Cave. You might have missed it when I was flying around earlier, Mikatu. Because that's the only place we can set it up. It's a mushroom island. Dispensing the water from the corners, and the square in the center was a 3x3 hole. Right, yeah, so I could make it a different size square. I think that's how we did the original Iron Golem farm. I could also make it whatever shape I want and just put signs in the middle, right? And have the water hit the signs or open not trapdoors, fence gates. Yeah, so like we could have, oops, that go like that. Right. And then you're in the way of my example, mushroom. Slowly but surely, we're just going to be removing mushrooms from this island. That could be a fun chill stream, just chatting and running around and just dismantling mushrooms. And so, if that was going to be a 3x3... Do you dispense it from the corners, or do you dispense it on a block in the corners? I think that's usually how that works. Trying to turn off my optimizer brain to come up with an interesting shape. Yeah. It doesn't have to be super interesting. I can decorate the outside to make it more interesting. It's not. I'm not too worried about that. The middle was going to be a 3x3. I feel like this has there's only going to be like 7 or 8 wide. That's too close. If I did that, then it's going to be like a cross pattern in the middle. Three by three with the water blocked by fence gates. Yeah, I could do that too. You have to have a step down. Yeah, that's what I thought too. That's what I thought too. My memory was thinking that you have to have a step down. But like I said, we could just have it be a straight platform. Right? The trick is that we'd have to have dispensers across the whole way. Definitely better for fueling the mobs into a processing contraption. Yeah, this way, you mean? Or by using fence gates? Trying to think what the... We go one farther? Would that work? No, that just makes it a weird shape. Try one closer. Too quick. Same shape, just a smaller platform. I think that would end up being a 2x2 if we did it that way. On a scale of 0 to Joel, how much planning does your build involve? My builds always involve a lot of planning. 5 wide diamond in the middle? Maybe. I think so. I should probably just build this and put them in the 4 corners just to kind of see what's going to happen. That would be the smart thing. I feel like I've got a couple of extra bows around. I can make another dispenser. Feel like I could do dropper to dispenser with a data pack, maybe? Some of these are not enchanted, I don't think. Oh, maybe they all are. Oh, there's a boat. There's a boat. Yep. I like recipe data packs. One of the reasons I'm going back and forth on this is because I want to make a farm that looks cool. I know I could make an efficient farm a number of different ways. I'm just trying to do it in a way that will be more fun and interesting to me. What do we got here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that's not going to work because I want an even or an uneven number. Sometimes I wish it would be cool to be able to assign sleeping in a bed to a button. It might be fun to have a command block underneath a button that changes the light. I'd have to remember that it's not letting me sleep, so I'd have to worry about phantoms, but that would be an interesting way to do that. Let's just double check this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go 9. If I go odd number, I'll have to have fence gates, probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so hopefully we can come up with something that will look good and work. And I also, again, like I don't need it to be something crazy pumping out, 1,600 items a minute, right? So that gives that kind of a diamond shape. And I think if we went closer, they would overlap too much. I don't think we would have enough space. Oops. feel like I might have goofed here, but we'll see. Yeah, it's only so it's a one block gap, or here I could create like a 3x3 with fence gates. Yes, the way that this would work is I would be able to put them in the floor, but I'm not doing that here because it would be a pain to operate them. What I would do with multiple floors is I would have an observer facing down at the water, and then shooting up into the ceiling. Oh yeah, the spiders would not fall down that one, that's for sure. Oh, like mobs would not get down this. I wouldn't do this at all. But I'm saying like my options are something like this, which is 9x9, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So it's 9x9. But then what I would do is I would block off the middle. We would have something like this. Imagine this as air blocks blocked off by fence gates. So it would keep the farm fairly narrow. Like it means it won't be very big, which is good. Had to step over the meeting. Are the snow golems going to work? Yes, the snow golems work. Yeah, snow golems don't die in the Mushroom Island, and they don't take damage. They do leave a snow thing. I haven't seen anything from Prowl, Dan, so I don't know what you mean. A lot of build effort for not much spawning efficiency. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's just for me. I don't need it to be crazy efficient. But I don't see how this is any, like, how is this any different from the amount of spaces in a, I mean, it's a couple more spawning blocks compared to the diamond shape. And I don't have mobs flying off the edges. So, I mean, I don't care, but I could do 11x11. But the 11x11 means that I have to have... It's a funky shaped hole in the middle. I mean, if we did that, the 11x11, it was like a star pattern. That was the pattern in the 11x11. So spiders would still go down that. Right? Because ultimately it's a 3x3 in the middle. So it's just a matter of whether I want to make it a 9x9 or 11x11. And then I am also trying to think about, like, well, that's the inside space. And then what do I want to design it with? And what kind of layers, like how many layers of blocks do I want on the outside? The cool thing is I don't need it to be solid because we have to use glass to hold the water in, right? But it doesn't have to be light tight because it's in the lush cave. So we go into the lush cave, which is over this way. Yeah. So if we are over here, I mean, that is definitely, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, like that's, you could fit like an 11 by 11 or 13 by 13 in this space and not be up against the wall, right? Like you could, I think you could have it floating in the middle here. I would probably measure out the middle of the hole and have it float above the hole. Yeah. And we can build up as high as we want because at some point, like there's where the mushroom, you see the top left-hand side, the biome changes at like 43, 44. So from here down, lush cave, lush cave, lush cave, lush cave. It's all lush cave. And then right there, it switches to mushroom fields. So like we could drop them or we could just have them be constantly burnt or cooked, or like we could kill them however we want, right? And we're only at, we could dig a pit here too if we wanted to. The fun part is with the center drop hole, you can make the spawning area wider than the space you have for letting the mobs fall. Yeah. No, I get that. Less than 128 blocks is a good question. We are at 52. How far are we from the main? I mean, that might be 120 blocks. That's 35,921. I think it's 100 blocks. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe it won't be running all the time anyway. Oh, I could make a despawn sphere shape? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that with my head too. I feel like something was sneaking up on me. No, maybe not. So the easiest thing is probably going to be the wider farm, the 11 by 11. No, the shulker doesn't die. The shulker has to take damage in Java, and then it duplicates and teleports. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we can probably come up with some ideas. I got to think about. I think the thing to do is just to decide on the farm, and then I'll build the design around it. I have an idea of like what my minimum maximum size would be. So I do think it would be better to have, and cooler looking, to have the mobs go down the middle of the farm than it would be to have them go down the outside. I also think it would be cool to make it out of something interesting like green terracotta or something. Something to match the lush cave. Lime stained glass. I brought the terracotta. Yeah. I think that'll probably go all right in the lush cave. And then, not that we would want to have any lights inside of it, but the other thing we could do would be to use tinted glass. Because if I wanted to have it look kind of sci-fi on the outside, my tinted glass actually doesn't have the right texture pack. We could then use some verdant frog lights or something. If I wanted to have it look cool, but not have the light affect the inside of the farm, then we could have something like that. You know, if I wanted to decorate the outside of it somehow. Like, for example, if this was the floor, where's my... If we were using this as the floor, and that's the glass, then even if we had lights in there like that, it would technically still block the light there. See? So we could make it look cool on the outside, but I think I like the green glass better. So we might have to just not have any lights in the design. And what I could do, so this is the fun part, is we don't have the right version of Minecraft right now to show you, but what I could do is I could put the new shelf block along here and then have frog lights in the shelves, and they don't actually give off block light, but they do kind of light things up and look cool, like from a shader point of view. But the purple doesn't look too bad with the tinted glass. I do prefer the lime. How far do shelves render? Well, doesn't matter. I'm only going to be viewing it from when I'm inside the... Yeah, I don't know about the rendering thing. I'm sure that's something we're going to run into. But... Nice. Feeling a lot better about having a stage here to work from and figure out what the next move is going to be. But the next move is going to have to happen next time because I got to go. Let's just refresh the old feed here and see who's live. Looks like Pearlescent Moon is doing some work on Hermitcraft. Sounds like a good shout. We'll do that. Folks, thanks so much for hanging out with me this morning. I'm going to pass you along to Pearlescent Moon on Hermitcraft. There are numbered days left on Hermitcraft Season 10, so if you're a fan, it's a good time to check that out. Some really cool stuff happening over there. You can always follow me on social media, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm looking at opening up the free tier on my Patreon to give access to the announcements channel on Discord, where you will get notifications whenever I go live. So if Twitch and X and Blue Sky are disappointing you in terms of tracking when I go live, then do check out the free tier on Patreon. But also just join on Patreon if you want to do that too. It's only $2 a month. It's less than a cup of coffee, and it's a great way to support me here on stream. We are trying to get to the point on Patreon where we can do annual memberships, but I need to be up above a certain revenue for 3 months in a row for that to happen. So the more of you that decide to skip 1 cup of coffee a month and join Patreon, then the better. And we can get that out there and get some discounts to people. So thanks ever so much for the support today. We had a cool treasure train, which was the first time here on the channel. Some great support with subs and gift subs. Really appreciate it. Thanks again to, I think it was Low. That was, yeah, Low celebrated 24 months subscribing here on the channel. Very much appreciated. And thanks to Sandy for moderating. And thanks to Wormbo and everybody else here in the chat the last of the while here, talking about some technical stuff and trying to help me through some planning. I really appreciate the insight, and I will see you all tomorrow. I think I'm going to try Satisfactory tomorrow, but we'll see. Another great thing that you can do, speaking of frequency of streaming and when I'm live, 10 a.m. Atlantic time every day until Saturday, Tuesday through Friday. Very easy to remember when I'm live if you just mark it on your calendar too. So either way, I will send you along to Pearlescent Moon. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.